to the UK. Well, there were local polls that took place on the 1st of May, while those local polls had a national impact. And that was Nigel Farage's far-right party, that is the Reform UK. It flicked a crucial parliamentary seat from UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer's Labour Party. Many would say that that has encouraged the anti-immigrant leader's prime ministerial ambitions. In fact, a Tory leader also went on to say, Kemi Badenoch, who is the Tory leader, has admitted it is feasible that Nigel Farage could become the next Prime Minister. A concern for immigrants, given the firebrand's vow to stop immigrants from entering all reform-led councils in what may be a very Trump-style move. But the fact is, the far right has gained in these local polls. What's the national impact? Let's get a Nicholas Stugent, as always, British journalist, former BBC editor, joining me live from London. Nicholas, one may dismiss these as local polls, but they clearly have a national undercurrent, don't they?
Well, I wouldn't dismiss them as local polls. They are, of course, important, and they are a pointer. But local polls are fought on very different issues from those at the centre. And yes, the Reform Party under Nigel Farage can talk about limiting migration, but that's not a local power. That's entirely at the centre. So it's entirely in the hands of the ruling party at the moment. And I think you could say that the fact that Reform has advanced in the local polls is because of discontent with the central parties, Labour and previously the Conservatives, who don't seem to have been able to keep illegal migration, or indeed migration in general, under control. So yes, we read the signs from this election, and Mr. Farage has increased his membership, his party's membership of the House of Commons by 1, so it's a total of 5 now, which is still way behind those of the major two parties.
Absolutely,
so
it may
I
be. Right, it is in single digits. But I want to understand from you two things. One is that Mr. Farage has gone on to say, his mayors have also said that they are not going to allow immigrants in the councils that they've been elected to. And what do you make of Conservative Party leaders, in fact, saying that Mr. Farage may, in fact, at least he should be harbouring PM ambitions, if nothing else?
Well, he definitely does harbour those ambitions, no question about it. And that was the case even before these local elections. He would love to be Prime Minister, and a lot of people would like to see him Prime Minister. I'm only really pointing out that it's a long haul before he gets anywhere close to that. And I don't read the results from last Thursday as showing he's particularly far advanced in that. About your specific question about limiting migration within the areas controlled by the Reform Party, well, as I said, dealing with migration and indeed illegal migrants and the housing of illegal migrants is entirely a central government issue. So the parties controlled by Reform can make a bit of an issue about it, but they can't stop it. That is entirely in the hands of the ruling Labour Party at the moment.
So there'll probably be some noise around it.
In perspective.
Yeah, there'll be some noise around it, but there may not be any action. But one thing then I want to ask you, sir, is that going forward, what's the message here for the Labour Party? Because many believe that some of the promises that they had made for the local polls weren't fulfilled, and this is people speaking up against some of Labour policies.
Well, I agree. I mean, what we saw was a protest vote, and it was a protest vote against the two major parties. The Labour Party in power now, yes, you haven't done enough to stop migration, so it's a protest, but also a protest against the Conservative Party that ruled for 14 years before at the centre. So it is a wake-up call for both those parties. Get things going, especially the party in power at the moment, of course, Labour Party, or you risk losing seriously at the next general election, which is still 4.25 years away, probably. So a lot can change. So I'm not belittling the significance of last week's vote. It is very important. It seems to make Nigel Farage a tiny bit closer to power at the centre, but I still think he has a very long way to go. But I would call last week's vote essentially a protest vote against the present government a Labour Party government and the Conservatives. And it's the Conservatives who've lost more than the ruling Labour Party. They lost more seats to reform because, of course, they are you could say, the alternative right-leaning party. And there's still quite a lobby that would like to see Reform and Conservative fight the next election together. But I don't think that will happen. So, yes, we read all the signs, but I wouldn't read too much into it in terms of what it means for the next election, because a long way to go before we get the next general election. Probably a long way to go, of course, assuming this government survives as long as it can.
Yes.
And let's face it, there's every chance that Labour will turn around its fortunes and bring things like migration under control. I'm not making a prediction, I don't know. But they've certainly had the warning signs from this election.
All right.